Howdy everybody, it's Stone. Today is Friday, March 3rd, and it is about, it's between 4:30 and 5, I think. The sun is about half an hour from going down. It is another gorgeous Maine day. There were clouds earlier, but right now not a cloud in the sky, just a slight haze, you can tell, sort of over towards the horizon, but for the most part, nothing you call a cloud. And I'm out for the afternoon walk. It is 18 degrees Fahrenheit. I misjudged the temperature earlier. I have in my studio, the base camp, as I call it, which is right over there, about 125 meters, I think it is, through the woods. And I have a south-facing window, so when I live upstairs, when I'm ready to go out, I kind of open the window and just kind of check and try to gauge the temperature. I have a thermometer in the window, but if it's sunny, it's not giving me accurate readings. And today was one of those cases. It said it was, over 30, and I got out here and it's 18. You don't really know until you get outside. So anyway, I'm doing good. Well dressed. I got good base layers on, and I went ahead and see if I can pan around. I had my standard sort of red parka. That was the outer layer. I've got a vest underneath that and some fleece undershirt. But I went ahead and put on my Wooby, which I carry in the pack. It's standard gear. Goes everywhere regardless of season. So I got it out, put it on. I can get it on like a parka, and it's just comfortable. It just warms you up, adds another 20 degrees at least. So I'm good, I'm toasty, and I've walked over here off of my trail. Let me orient you. If you've seen other videos, you're getting to know this place now. That's the ravine. I'm looking slightly southwest towards the sun. Base camp is over there to the northwest, and I have a used to have a snow trail kind of running from the middle of the base camp over to the ravine, over that way about 100 meters. Stomped it out in snow after the first 18er, lost it after the second one. We had a really deep snowpack this year. Nothing compared to yesteryear, but for the last few years this has been very substantial. And so I lost the trail that I stomped out over 5 days, but then got a loaner pair of snowshoes. I brought them out with me today, but I don't need them. I'm walking literally on top of this really compacted, crusty, fortunately just enough sort of loose stuff on the top to keep it from being slick, but going downhill I'm going to get the other ice pole out. It's slick enough that you could bust your butt. In any case, right over there, because there's a lot of melting going on, we've had some really pretty warm temperatures of late, about the last 2 weeks. Not every day, it's up and down, but a couple of days of warmth into the 40s, even bumping into the 50s, and then back into the 30s again, with temperatures at night ranging in from the teens to the 20s, something like that. But we've had enough melting that we're down to, I'm guessing, probably about a foot base. Most of the trees, you still see pretty good snow up around them. I've seen a couple of places where there's opened all the way to the base, but I'd say a foot, maybe 18-inch base. So it's opened up a couple of new features one of them being a couple of rocks right over there, glacial erratics. It was exciting. I found one of them 2-3 days ago. There's a video of it. All of these videos are going to be non-linear, sort of asynchronous, not in time. But a shot video 3-4 days ago of a rock over there, and then today I found another one just right over there that's even bigger and really flat, very, very sittable, with a great view looking over the ravine. So that was pretty exciting. And I decided to walk over here to this place. This is the first rock out here that I found even before there was snow back in December, shortly after I moved in. And it's a really interesting one because in an earlier video that I haven't posted yet, I got the colors mixed up. Now, keep in mind, I haven't seen this much of this rock since December. And when I found it back in December, it was almost dark, so I couldn't really make out too many of the features. But when I saw it again, late last month, I guess late January, early February, it had melted back enough that it was exposing some of this rock over here, and I mistakenly described in that case that the brown, the tan that you're seeing here was the rock, and the gray was something else. I got it backwards. The gray is actually the rock, and the tan is a lichen. And what fooled me was that I've never seen a lichen this color before. I've studied them sort of informally for decades, but I usually find them to be green, most commonly, some shade of green, yellow, maybe red. Gray is a really common color, but I've never seen this shade of tan before, and so it just totally threw me. So I'm pretty excited to have this glacial erratic here. I still can't tell quite how big it is, but it's the biggest one I found around here so far. Although going over west about 250 meters, I found some huge pieces of rock. And I can't tell yet if they're glacial erratics or part of the bedrock. I may walk over there today. I'm not sure if I will. So I came over to check this out, and here's another biology experiment for Stone's Northwoods Adventures. So that's pretty cool. I think what I'm going to do now is click off and keep walking. I'm going to walk over to ITS 82. You'll hear about that repeatedly in videos. I sometimes walk on it, and I've learned that I can get, if I understand the directions correctly, once I get an ATV, I can throw my pack onto it and get all the way up to Millinocket from here, literally from my back door, which is pretty exciting, meaning that ATVs are cheaper than cars, and for me to be able to get up to Millinocket, which is the back door, the southern door, I guess you would say, of the newest national monument in the United States. It's called Katahdin Woods and Waters National Monument. It's on the east flank of Katahdin. Katahdin itself is in Baxter State Park, but this national monument, 78,000 acres, is on the eastern flank, and I am chomping at the bit to get up there this summer, hopefully even sooner. So it's really wonderful to know now that even if I don't get a car this year, if I can just get an ATV, I can throw pack on it with extra gear, food, and be gone for a week. Just ride the ATV up there, park it at the edge of the monument, and walk in and have wheels getting back home. So that's sort of my new goal. We'll see how that works out. All right, so that's it for now. I will maybe, almost certainly film a little bit more, but my fingers are so cold today. And as the sun is dropping down, it's getting colder. The worst part is not the temperature, it's the wind chill. The wind is substantial, pretty good breeze. You'll probably hear it. I hope you can hear my voice over the wind, because it wreaks havoc with this little microphone on this little camera, but we'll see. So I probably won't film too much more today. I'm going to try to walk over to 82 and then down the trail and to where it intersects with the ravine, and then come back up the ravine. That'll keep me from having to walk down this hill right over there, which is going to be just slicker than wet glass going down. So that's my game plan. Maybe I'll film more, maybe I won't, but certainly another day. All right, almost dropped the camera. Take care. Okay, part 2, and probably the final for today. It's about 25-30 minutes later, probably. The sun is substantially down. I think maybe if I was up on the hill I could still see a little bit, but I think it's pretty much down, and I am down in the ravine now. The last segment that I filmed was sort of up there, up that rise, going up that way. It's not really a hill. It's, well, I guess, I don't know. It's glacial topography, so who knows. Kind of an esker, small esker. So this ridge runs all the way down and forms this ravine here. There's another sort of a ridge and an even taller esker on the other side, and this ravine is running sort of right down between them here. And I came down, and normally I come down that ridge over there. I walk out a little ways, go to that rock where I was last, and then walk down to this place because it's got just a spectacularly beautiful ash tree. I know it's going to be ash. It hasn't leafed out yet, of course, but it will. But I recognize ash, and I'm pretty sure that's what that is. I'll walk over to it in a minute, maybe. So normally, if I want to get down here to this, which by the way is going to be one of my hammock study areas, some great hanging potential in there. Normally I walk down that rise to get down here, but it was just too slick today. The snow is so packed and slick that I decided not to take the risk, even though I did get my other snow pole out. This is my sort of everyday walking stick. I actually cut it and carved it out here from a piece of deadwood, but this rides on my pack. It's a black diamond carbon fiber pole with an ice point on it. So when it's icy, this comes out like it did today, even though I didn't come down the steep part. And it's getting much colder, I guess I'd call it bitter at this point. If it's not bitter now, it's going to be another half an hour. So I want to get on home, but I wanted to stop here just for a minute. A couple of notable features. This little grove of hemlock and pine and birch right in here is just beautiful. I can't wait to study it and kind of play in it some more. It's just kind of quintessential Maine Northwoods, what you would see going further north. Now admittedly, as you go north, you're also going to run into fir, balsam fir, and spruce, which don't occur here. They're further north and higher altitude as well. But this is the appearance of this, sort of the feeling of it, is Maine. So the camera died. That's what happened there. Something about the memory card was full, no more room, which is surprising because I really thought that I had dumped all the old files off of it last night. But nonetheless, it happened. I am in the process of researching a new camera. This little Sony pocket cam that I've got, it's about the size of a package of cigarettes, and it's okay. It was a hand-me-down from a friend and has met needs. It does photos okay, but video, it's kind of lacking. The operation, the controls on it are infuriatingly difficult to use. So I'm researching a new video camera. I'm actually thinking about buying a refurbished iPod or an iPad, one of the two, which will give me some good optics. A refurbished iPad or iPod 5, I think it is, an older version. I am planning to start a fundraising drive. I think I'm going to do a Kickstarter so I can pick up a new camera to continue this work in video production, but also some other gear that I need, some outdoor gear that's necessary if I'm going to keep this video series going. But that's a story for another day. For now, I want to pick up where the video ended and just use some still images that I've taken of that ravine and a couple of other places and just kind of finish this up quickly. I was making the point that that little grove down in the ravine, and by the way, you're looking at the ravine here, it's a different spot in the ravine, it's another 100 yards down, but it's the same, and sort of this really beautiful little grove of eastern hemlock, birch, and a few pine. Most of the pine are up on the higher areas, up on the what I think of as the eskers, but there's a few down here, and they're massive. There's also some ash down here, but the dominant trees in this little grove are eastern hemlock, 3 different species of birch at least, maybe 4. And this is at the base of my snow trail, where I normally came down. This was as far as I had gotten coming down off of the lip of the ravine. I couldn't get much further than this for a while because the snow was so deep, and you can just barely make out right over here that there's some wet areas. I can't tell if it's going to be a little stream. I don't think so. Maybe a tiny little brook, but I'm thinking it's probably just going to be vernal pools where water comes down off the sides of the ravine and up higher up in the ravine to the left of this picture, and collecting these at pools. And in the last few days when I was down there, I've noticed that there's actually standing water. It's not very big yet, but I suspect with all the snow melt, it's going to be some substantial pools in there, maybe even mosquito breeding spaces. But it's beautiful. It's just a lovely place to be. And once I get down into this ravine here, the traffic noise from the highway is completely abated. I hear almost nothing. Loud trucks on occasion, but really not much. And it's just so peaceful and quiet. I can just imagine what the birds are going to be like in spring and summer. Some really nice hammockable areas right behind where I'm standing here, but I'll save that for a different day. I wanted to focus on this grove to start with. Now, this image is sort of the same kind of grove, but a much more mature forest. It's not old growth, not even close, but older growth, considerably more mature. It's about a half a mile from where the last image down the ravine, this is not the ravine, but go up to ITS 82 and walk down it, third of a mile or so, and you get into this sort of place, again, dominated by eastern hemlock, but with lots of birch. You can see this one right over here, several others in there, and I suspect also cedar. I haven't identified the cedars yet. And then further to the right of this, there's more pine. But this is what I think of as sort of quintessential, what I call Maine North Woods. I think the technical term is North Maine Woods, but it's kind of the bottom end of the transition into what's called taiga or boreal forests in Quebec, northern Quebec, Manitoba, Ontario, up in there. And you follow that kind of taiga, those true north woods up there, dominated by spruce and balsam fir, with some birch and other hardwoods as well, but really dominated by spruce and fir. And this has the feeling of that. It has the feeling of taiga. You can tell you're transitioning into that. And then this is actually just across the highway. Well, just across. It's probably an hour's walk, especially now, even with snowshoes. This was back before the snow got too deep. It was before the first big 18er. I haven't been back over there since. The snow's been too deep. But this is a particularly large area. It's a deadfall area. I don't know what happened here, but just count. There's, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, good-sized trees that got blown down. So presumably a storm, maybe a little microburst at some point, who knows. But this is part of what makes these kinds of woods challenging sometimes to get through, especially with a pack. And if you're carrying a walking stick or if you've got a long gun, getting through these can be, quite challenging. It's part of why when I get a shotgun and a rifle, again, I want short barrels on them. Just easier to get through places like this. And then to end this, I want to show you a couple of pictures of just classic Maine rural scenery. This is about a third of a mile from that last segment. The last segment, by the way, let me just flip back to it for a second. This deadfall area was just off of an unmaintained snowmobile trail that ran between two maintained snowmobile trails. And I'm thinking it's going to be a really nice sort of a path because the ATVs can't get through on that little trail, whereas they can on the maintained ones. And so it's going to be a little bit more peaceful, I think. But getting back onto the main snowmobile trail, I'm standing on it here, this old barn, and these tracks that you see right in here were turkeys, a really large, I guess flock is the term of turkeys. It must have been 20 of them, I think, of all ages, some really old toms, and just leaving massive footprints through the woods here as I kind of chased them around a little bit. And then this one was right across the snowmobile trail from the barn on the other side. It is, I'm guessing, a root cellar. At first I thought it was almost a cabin of some kind, like a underground little shelter, but if you look inside the door there, first of all, it's really short. It's only about 2-3 feet tall. And then you look inside and it's not hollowed out. It's just kind of a cellar, dirt floor, dirt, everything. So I'm guessing it was probably a root cellar for, storage of root vegetables or something, but who knows? So, okay, that is it for this video. Hope you're enjoying these as much as I am enjoying producing them. It's just a joy for me to take a little bit of time and introduce this series. I'll do one sort of more science-oriented and then one outdoors, bushcraft, ecology, geology version, and the next one, and then back to science. Kind of going to mix and match here. All right, so more coming soon, and thanks very much for watching. Look forward to any feedback that you'd like to offer me on these. All right, see you. Bye.